Development today, perhaps for a long time, to me means letting people or making the conditions for people to express their full potential. I think that was the motivation, you know, of people expressing their capacities and their potential as human beings and as social groups, I think has been an underlying idea for many, many decades. It was then formalized very clearly by Professor Sen. But I think that what has changed is what we think are the critical variables and the critical processes that can allow that to happen. So for many years we thought, you know, that the state was the key agent that would make this happen. And then the world turned and said, no, it's going to be the markets that will get this done. And now we're in a different period where I think we're beginning to understand that it's really about a balance between market and state and society, which until today really has been the missing factor. The chapter I'm writing is on the rural transformation, and the issue is how do 3.5 billion people that live in rural areas and whose living condition and their standard of living is really, for many of them, not even that of the 20th century, you know, it's that of the 19th century. How can they move to the 21st century, realize, again, their potential as human beings, as social groups, and to do this in a way that doesn't create, you know, political crisis, environmental crisis, economic tensions within the countries. That's the topic of the chapter. Well, what excites me about this book is that we always say that development is multi-dimensions, you know, that there's many issues to development. And then we happily go on with the little disciplines. So we start by saying it's multidimensional, however, I'm an expert on rural issues and I'll talk about rural. This project is actually multidimensional. It's very complicated, it's very complex, but I think it's one of the few instances where I've seen a real effort at trying to make this keyword into something concrete. That's very exciting.